The Lee Group will be holding its 10th annual Small Business Workshop, May 15th, 8:30 a.m. at the Corner Ballpark, 1680 Michigan Avenue in Detroit. Hear from business leaders and other entrepreneurs discussing embracing change while moving forward. You don't want to miss this free event. For more information, go to leegroupinnovation.com and check Small Business Workshop.
All right, I'd like to welcome you to this edition of In the Conference Room with Mark S. Lee. I hope you out there having a great day, having a great week. And as you know, this is your source of information for what's happening in and around the Motor City. And I'm your host, Mark S. Lee. I want to thank all of you for the response that we get for doing this. And you've been outstanding. Continue to spread the word. And as we continue to share the news of what's happening, not just here in the great Motor City of Detroit, but across the country as well. And without further ado, I have a very special guest, Chris Rowe Management, Chris Rowe from Chris Rowe Management. He's actually tuning in. He's joining me from Los Angeles. So we have the Motor City in Hollywood crashing. Chris, good morning. Good afternoon here. Thanks for joining me. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. Good to be with you. Thank you so much, Mark.
So good to have you. And so for those of you who are wondering, Chris is actually the talent manager for a legendary Detroit artist from Motown, Miss Martha Reeves. You know Martha Reeves. And we're going to be spending some time talking about what's happening when it comes to a star. He'll do a better job of explaining that to you as I can. So Martha Reeves, as you know, from obviously here in Detroit, is up for a star, I believe. Is that right, Chris? For the Walk of Fame?
Yeah, that's correct. So Martha in 2021 was nominated and accepted for her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And last year, in the spring, we vigorously fundraised to raise the funds for that, which we did. We successfully raised the necessary amount for the star. Most people think it's free. It's not. It's not something that's given to you. Somebody has to nominate you to the Hollywood Chamber, to their board. They have a selection committee. They do it once a year in June. And then you go before the committee and they select roughly 25 people out of the 100 they get a year or however many they get. And so from the time that you're selected and picked, you have 2 years basically to claim your star. If you don't claim it within that period of time, then you lose it. Now, of course, we were in the middle of a strike, not a strike, a pandemic and all of that kind of stuff that happened. So that slowed it down a bit, but she technically should have received her star in 2023. But because of the pandemic, dates filled up because they couldn't do it for so long, and it caused the overflow to go into 2024. So we've gotten that, it's paid for, and now we're just raising additional funds for her reception afterwards.
So the star has actually been approved.
Star is approved. Star is paid for. It was paid for in June 1st or 2nd of 2023. So that's complete. Now we're basically doing the finishing funds, which covers reception, transportation, security, printing expenses, all the little tiny things that people don't think about, but all of that comes with the price tag. And let me tell you, the price of things in Los Angeles is far higher than the things in Detroit. Sometimes people will go, "What? You're looking for that much money?" And I'm like, for what would be $5,000 in Detroit, in Los Angeles, it's $12,000 or $13,000 for basically the same quality. You're just paying a lot more.
This is interesting because we always see here in Detroit, we obviously will see on the news that such and such person got this star and Walk of Fame. Then we see this big ceremony. So this is enlightening me. So to your point, it's not like people just get the star and it's put down on the sidewalk there per se, but there is a process that's involved. And it sounds like Martha Reeves' star is approved, but now you're going through the process to complete it to ensure that all the expenses are covered.
Correct. It's basically I call it the finishing funds. It's to cover
Okay.
the reception and again, the transportation and ground transport and printing and security and all the things that we are responsible to take care of. And, you know, if you are Kanye West or you're someone really current, it's nothing for a studio to flip the bill for the whole thing. You're making them millions of dollars and they're happy to do that. In Martha's case, that isn't the case because she's an entertainer of a certain time, regardless of whether she's a legend or not. It's very, very complicated and difficult to get large sponsoring from like Motown Records, which is part of the Universal Music Group. You know, basically they didn't give a cent, even though we contacted them multiple times. So it takes someone, a studio or a movie studio, to make things, a record company studio or a movie studio, to make things move quickly. They don't have to fundraise in that case because, again, you've got a studio that's flipping the bill. In Martha's case, we had to do it the old-fashioned way, which is you just raise the money. And they keep raising the price of the star every year. It just keeps going higher and higher. I've done 2 previous star ceremonies in my career. And the first one I did in 2012 was $20,000 for the actual star. 5 years later, the second one I did was in 2017 was $30,000. And now, 6 years after that, it's $50,000.
Wow.
And now this year, for people who get approved this year, it's $75,000.
Wow.
So it makes it almost impossible for people of a certain time to even ever get one.
Yeah.
Because their records don't sell like they used to, or their movies don't sell like they used to. So who's going to do it? Who's going to make the effort to try to raise that kind of money? You might get that on a special anniversary for a movie or for an album or something, and you might get some help from the movie studio or the record company, but you don't. So what it does is it really leaves out a lot of great legends who will never receive a star. And even though the interest is there, it takes someone to really dedicated to day in and day out until it's done, raise those kinds of funds. And let me tell you, it's an enormous amount of work. I would like to say that before I started this star ceremony, I had a full head of hair, but of course, people know that that's not the case. But I like to say that because it is true. It's stressful. It takes a lot of time, and but you know what? She's deserving of it, and I think it's a great honor. And I think that she's very lucky because there's so many people her caliber of legend that will never get one.
You know, couple comments. One, I guess we've been working on this together for quite a while, right? In terms of our hair. Yeah. But no, in
It's a
all
process.
sincerity, it's a process. But in all sincerity, a couple people found out, you know, you and I were going to have this conversation. The one question that they raised to me, independent of each other, and you kind of addressed it. Obviously, Motown, she's from Motown, Detroit. We know that Motown's headquartered in Los Angeles now. And there's, of course, there's the Motown Museum here in Detroit. And their question to me that I said I will ask of you is, I know the answer, but I'll give you a chance to respond. So Motown itself has not made a contribution, whether it's the Motown industry in LA or the Motown Museum here in Detroit. Is that a fair statement?
That's correct.
Okay. The other question he asked of me, again, these are from people that were interested in this interview before they found out we were going to do it, is you have so many legendary Detroiters and Motowners still out there without getting into proprietary information, have people of that caliber from an era, if you will, decided to step up to help out.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
You know, I thought that it was going to be a little easier, and it's proven to be much harder. harder because it's the most money I've ever raised in the shortest amount of time.
Yes.
Again, when you go back and look at the previous ceremonies, what I had to raise, I thought that was hard work until I got into this one because they've raised the price so much. But I would say 85% of the donations received for the actual star, they were from fans and admirers around the world, which was really beautiful. That's what's made this actually really extra special, is because unlike other star ceremonies, you have one person flipping the bill. In this case, it's been an outpouring of love and affection from people all around the world. And that's what's been really beautiful. It's been, fans from Europe and Asia and all over America, Australia, and some of them donating $5, some of them donating $10, whatever they could. And I've always said from the beginning, it's no one person's responsibility to do this, be it an organization or be it an individual. But it sure would be nice to get that extra boost. We did have a few sponsors come in and give $5,000 chunks in that initial run. One just big fan and admirer, I remember, gave 10,000. But we've done it just on donations. And
Gotcha.
again, I think that's what makes it so much more meaningful. And this second round is basically going to be the same thing. It's donations. Someone sent in a donation yesterday morning, and it was $10, and they said, best I can do, good luck. And I think that's great. 100 people, they do that, you got a chunk of money.
So what is the time frame? So how much time do you have? We'll get to the fundraisers happening shortly, but in terms of the time period, what is the end game in terms from a timing standpoint? We have to raise these funds, or is there a deadline?
There is a deadline. I basically have weeks in order to raise this. I cannot announce the official date yet. The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce gets to make that announcement, but the date has been approved. I have it. It shifted originally from what they had first told me back in summertime. It shifted by a day or two. But once they make the official announcement, then I can make the official announcement on social media and publicly. So we are dealing with just weeks now.
Okay. And so let's segue, and we're talking about the fundraising. For those of you tuning in, we're talking to Chris Rowe from Chris Rowe Management. He's a talent manager for Martha Reeves, the legendary Detroiter. And Martha Reeves, obviously Motown, Dancing in the Street. And by the way, as an aside, on my radio show, I produced and put on Dancing in the Streets, and Martha Reeves actually started singing Dancing in the Streets on my radio show, and I'm kind of bobbing along with her. But anyway, we're talking about the star, the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and there's a fundraiser. She's been approved to have a star in her name. There's a process involved. So we're having this conversation with Chris, who was kind enough to join me from Los Angeles today, to talk about what the process is. And the next step in the process is a fundraiser that's being held here in Detroit. Talk about the fundraiser.
So the fundraiser for the finishing funds, because it's important to say that it's the finishing funds. The money was raised for the star, and the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce has that money. They've had it since June. These are the finishing funds to cover the reception and all the other expenses that go along with that. So we're doing a wine and cheese mix and mingle with Martha at the beautiful St. John's resort in Plymouth, Michigan, which if you've seen it, it's just beautiful.
Let me jump in for 1 second. That place is awesome. I had the opportunity. He's going to tell you exactly where it's in a second, but let me just say one thing. I have been there, and what he's going to explain to you is absolutely first rate. It's phenomenal. How's that for a tease? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it is. It's just gorgeous. And, you walk into it and you feel like you're stepping back in another time in a
Yeah.
way, or certainly a different lifestyle, a lifestyle of the rich and famous. It is quite beautiful. And so we're happy to be doing it there. It's a small fundraiser. It's not designed to pull in hundreds of people. That wouldn't be turned down, but I think the whole idea of it is, you get 75 to 100, people who come in for this kind of private gathering. And, you get a chance to mix and mingle with Martha and the other folks who will be there. We have a silent auction of a lot of really nice material that's been donated from various people. Some of them great Motown legends, and other great entertainers. We're going to have some raffles for some baskets and different assortment of things. So it's really just an evening designed to celebrate Martha, and it'll be there at St. John's from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And you can get your tickets through Eventbrite. You can go to marthareeves.net. Just follow the links. There's
Got it.
multiple different options where you can, do different things to contribute. There's limited edition art prints that's been signed by Martha. There's the fundraiser event. And then there's just, if you wish to make a regular donation of any kind, you can do that too.
And what day is it?
That's Monday, March 4th.
So right around the corner. So less than 2 weeks away. You get a chance to certainly mix and mingle with Martha Reeves and other fabulous people from across Detroit as well as across the country. And again, the place in Plymouth is outstanding. I was just here last week, and where they're having the reception is an intimate affair, stunning. And for those of you here in Detroit, St. John's has been getting a lot of money for renovation. So it's going through a renovation. If you hadn't had a chance to go over there, I would certainly encourage you to do so for this fundraiser. As we wrap up,
You do
go
really
ahead.
feel like you've teleported away.
Absolutely.
Like you really do feel like you've teleported away. And it's so nice to have a getaway like that is really so close to home. And that's how I felt about it when
You
I
know,
went there.
you got the hustle and bustle of Los Angeles. You have the hustle and bustle of Detroit. We're always hustling. We're driving. Just the motor city. We don't have mass transit. Everybody's driving, right? And so when I stepped in, when I stepped in, it was like an oasis in the city. And you walk through those doors, and it was so intimate. It was just so peaceful, and it's a spectacular way of just getting away from the craziness of everyday life. And as we wrap up, where can people again make a donation if they want to make a donation to the fund for the finishing funds? And one more time, if they want to purchase tickets or have the opportunity of attending, where do they go?
Sure. You can go to marthareeves.net. On the main page, you will find towards the bottom a variety of different options where you can purchase merchandise, you can purchase tickets for the event, or you can just make a simple donation if you wish. It's all right there.
It's awesome. Chris Rowe from Chris Rowe Management, thank you very much for giving us an update on the Martha Reeves Star. I would. Hopefully that star will be there. It will be there. But thank you very much for joining me in the conference room. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And for all of you, thank you for tuning in to this week's version of In the Conference Room with Mark S. Lee. As always, to close in with you, go make it a great day, make it a great week. We will check you out next time in the conference room. And enjoy, by the way, beautiful day. You know what? It's warming up. The Tigers are starting their spring training as well as Major League Baseball. So, yes, we have turned the corner. And hopefully, I won't say that four-letter word snow. Hopefully, that's still behind us. We will talk to you all soon. Thanks for checking us out. See you soon. Thank you very much.
The Lee Group will be holding its 10th annual Small Business Workshop, May 15th, 8:30 a.m. at the Corner Ballpark, 1680 Michigan Avenue in Detroit. Hear from business leaders and other entrepreneurs discussing embracing change while moving forward. You don't want to miss this free event. For more information, go to leegroupinnovation.com and check Small Business Workshop.